Lesson 60, Creating and Formatting a Chart. In this lesson, we'll take a look at setting up data for charting, how to create a chart using the Insert tab of the ribbon, or how to create a chart in one keystroke. We'll also take a look at the 3 ribbon tabs that can be used for formatting your chart. Alright, so here we have data that we want to create a chart from. One simple rule is that if you have dates across the top or left side of your data, you want to leave this top left corner cell blank. This has been the rule forever, and in a few certain circumstances, Microsoft improved this so that way the top left corner cell doesn't need to be blank. But in many other situations, it still does need to be blank, so my general rule, leave that top left corner cell blank. If we want to insert a chart, you're free to come to the Insert tab and choose a basic look for the chart using any one of these drop-downs. However, a faster way to create a chart is to use one of 2 keystrokes. The F11 key will create a chart as a new sheet, or Alt plus F1 will create a chart on the current worksheet. So I'm going to use that method. I'm going to choose the data, press Alt F1, and I get a chart right here on the current worksheet. The chart always shows up in the middle of the current window, but it's easy enough to move the chart to a new location. Okay, so by default, we have a column chart. If I need to change the chart type, I can visit the Change Chart Type dialog and change to a different type, maybe a bar chart. Click OK. You'll notice that we have 3 tabs in Chart Tools: Design, Layout, and Format. The Design tab is the major things. Change the chart type, apply a quick layout, apply colors. The Layout tab starts to get down to allow you to change minor things in the chart, such as where the legend appears or the scale. The Format tab allows you to get down to the point where you can format individual columns, the shape, and so on. Basically, this Design tab is the 50,000-foot view, and you get to more detail as you go from left to right. Well, let's take a look at the chart layouts, the Quick Layout drop-down. These are different, anywhere from 4 to 12 quick layouts that appear depending on which chart type you have. I want to be frank, I hate them all. I haven't found any quick layout, well, there's 2 in the entire product that are actually good. And this is of no fault of Microsoft's. The fact is that they're changing about 14 different settings with these quick layouts. And if each setting has maybe 4 options, you can imagine we have 4 to the 14th power options that are available here. That's 268 million possible combinations, and they only give us, in this case, 10 of them. I mean, what are the odds that my favorite out of the 268 million are going to show up here? Frankly, 0. They're just 0. Now, the couple that are really interesting is if we change the chart type to a column chart, then the quick layout does give a really nice way to create a histogram, which was hard to do in the previous version. So I do like that one. Or if we change the chart type to a line type, then they offer a spark line. Spark lines are very popular based on the work of Edward Tufte. So we can create a minimalist chart with just the line. Okay, so those are great. However, in general, you're not going to be able to use the quick layout to come up with something acceptable. You can look through, but the odds are it's just not going to have what you want. I do, however, like the Chart Styles drop-down. This gives us various combinations of the 6 accent colors in the theme. They give us some with a dark layout that are going to match PowerPoint much better. And in general, as you go down, you get to more intense styles with sort of a nice look to the columns. This doesn't make the chart any better, but it does make the chart interesting the very first time you throw it up on a PowerPoint slide, and someone hasn't seen Excel 2007 charts, they'll be interested in how you created a chart that frankly doesn't look 20 years old, which is what we had in Excel 2003. The last icon on the Design tab is to move the chart not within the sheet, but to move it to its own sheet, if we want to create the chart as a full screen chart. Let's take a quick look at the Design tab. Here, we're going to have built-in items. So for example, if we would go to the Legend tab, We could choose to show the legend at the right, which is where it is, or at the top, left, bottom. We can also control whether the chart title is centered overlay, which means it actually appears on the chart, or above the chart. And let's take a look at the axis. Primary vertical axis. There are scaling tabs. This was always hard to find before. They now give us the most popular options, thousands, millions, billions, available at a single click. However, you should be aware that there are more options than what are offered here on the Layout tab. Every single option leads to a choice called More. And when we choose More, we actually get to go back to the Format dialog box where we'll have all of the options. So, for example, here, instead of just thousands, millions, and billions, we can actually get to the other options, such as hundreds or trillions. So be aware that although Microsoft moved the most popular items to the Layout tab, they are definitely not all of the items. And sometimes you need to go to the Format dialog box in order to find those items. Both the Layout and Format tabs of the ribbon have an interesting section over here called Current Selection. In this drop-down, we can choose many of the items, for example, Series East, and then choose Format Selection. This will allow us to change, for example, the color of just that one item. Or we could reset to match the current style. Now, in past versions of Excel, I would say that to do this, you would right-click and choose Format. That still continues to work. You can also just click on the item. So, for example, we'll click on the West and press Control-1. So either right-click or Control-1 or the Format Selection button are all great ways to format an individual item. Note that although this drop-down is pretty cool and it offers many items, it doesn't offer every item. Sometimes you still need to use the mouse to select. For example, if I select the red series, the central series, and then a second single click on March, I've now selected just the one data point. Now when I format selection, I can change the color of that one item instead of all of the items in that series. Finally, we can go back to the Format tab. The Format tab allows us to really get down to the minor items and format them in various ways. So, for example, if I would choose the April Central item, I could choose Shape Fill, Shape Outline, where I could actually change the outline that appears around that item, or get down to Shape Effects, where I can add glow, soft edges, bevel, etc. to really try and change the look of individual items. Here we can change the font. We can change it into a WordArt quick style. And we can do that for any text in the chart. So if I want to choose the axis title, I can change that to be a quick style as well. In general, I find that I spend most of my time on the Design tab, where I can change the chart style quickly, and then I'll touch up a few things on the Layout tab, many times using their built-in options, but sometimes realizing that I have to go into the Format dialog box. Now, while we're talking about that Format dialog box, it's learned an amazing new trick in Excel 2007. If we select something, for example, the East region, and I choose Format Selection, I now have all the options that apply to the East region. I can keep the Format dialog box open and click on something else, for example, the title, and instantly the Format dialog box changes to give me all of the options that apply to the title. So in theory, I can keep this Format dialog box open and click on individual items within the chart. Click on the legend. I now get all of the formatting features for the legend. So for power users, people who really want to go in and access all of the items for all of the chart elements, this new trick with the Format dialog box is fairly amazing. Well, I hope you found that helpful, and thanks for watching.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.